Greetings, Go fans. Welcome to the 2019 Transatlantic Professional Go Team Championship. We did have a little technical difficulty with the sound. I hope it is now working. If it's not, I'm sure we'll hear about it in the comments. Today we have a very exciting game that we're going to get kicked off here in a second, but first some introductions are in order. My name is Nick Sibicky of Nick Sibicky Go Lectures. I'm joined by Eric Louis, one Dan professional from the AGA. This tournament is a team tournament. We've got 5-on-5 North Americans versus Europeans. Winner stays on style over the next, we'll say 5 to 9 weeks of play. So we should be bringing you lots of great content. Today's game is between Andy Liu, one Dan AGA professional, versus Mateusz Surma, two Dan your EGF professional. Eric, you know these players. You've played against Andy a number of times. You excited for today's game?
I'm very excited. It's actually a game I've been looking forward to ever since the pairings were announced.
Awesome. I think we're going to do a little check-in with both players before the match starts. Is that right, Michael? Do we have Andy queued up here on the line?
Andy. Hey, I'm right here.
Hey, Andy, welcome. You excited for today's game?
Hell yes.
All right. Did you do any preparation for Mateusz? Is this a player you're familiar with? Do you know his style?
I don't know his style, but I play against Lilo sometimes online, so I'm just gonna go into this game with a calm mind and hope for the best.
Awesome. Are you thinking of any particular opening or strategy? Have you done any preparations in terms of what you're about to do on the board?
No, I have not.
Okay. Well, clear mind. Beautiful. We wish you lots of luck, Eric.
Good luck, Andy.
Thank you.
All right. And good luck to both players, of course. Is Mateusz on the line too? Do we have him?
Hello.
Might be a thing. Hey, Mateusz. Nick and Eric here. Welcome. How are you feeling today? You feeling good? You excited for the match?
Yes, I'm feeling fine. Yes, I was waiting for this match all the day, trying to prepare, somehow sleeping during the day. And
Okay. Are you familiar with Andy Liu's style? Have you studied any of his games? Have you done any preparations for today's match?
not really.
All right. Well, very good. This is the first 2019, or this year, I should say, is the first of this type of tournament. There is 10,000 euros on the line. So this is a big deal. We're actually really excited for it. And, I think everyone kind of sees it a little bit as an experiment this year. This is sort of a trial balloon, but, with that much money on the line, this is a pretty serious game. Does that affect your nerves at all?
It's not the first tournament with big prize money for me, like possible to win. I didn't really win big prize money, but I was playing in some tournaments like this. But I think it's okay, like normal game. I will just try to win, and that's it.
All right, very good. Thank you very much, Mateusz. I think we both wish you lots of luck in the game today.
Have a good game.
All right, so that's our players. They're going to get this game started very, very shortly. If you are interested in helping support this series, there's 3 things you can do. The first of which is to actually go to your social media, your Twitter, your Facebook, whatever, and hashtag, send us out a shout, hashtag Transatlantic Go, or if you want to cheer for an individual team, hashtag Team EGF or hashtag Team AGA. Second thing you can do to support this event is to visit transatlanticgo.org/support. And from there, you can donate directly. Again, we hope to make this a yearly event, and it needs support mainly from you guys to continue. And the third thing you can do, of course, is join your respective Go organization, AGA or EGF or both. There's nothing that says you can't be a member of both organizations. And if you do, that means you can actually get a European rating as well as an AGA rating for any Go tournament games you play yourself. So we hope to see a lot of you take advantage of that. All right, so let's check the room. It looks like we're just still waiting on the players to get the game set up. Yeah, so while we wait for that, we'll take a quick break. We'll see you in a few.
Okay.
Greetings, Go fans. Welcome to the 2019 Transatlantic Professional Go Team Championship. This is a team match between North America and Europe. My name is Nick Sibicky. I'm here joined by Eric Louis. We're going to be doing some live commentary for this game very shortly. But in the meantime, we're going to let these players play some moves out. Playing black, we have Andy Liu representing North America. Playing white, we have Mateusz Surma. And we'll meet you back. We'll probably plan for around 11:30. What do you think, Eric?
Sounds good to me.
That's Pacific time. Sorry, you can 15 minutes from now, whatever it is. And yeah, we'll get some live commentary going for this very exciting game. We've got 10,000 euros on the line for this series, so this is a money game. You won't want to miss out. All right, thanks.
My name is Mateusz Surma. I am 23 years old. I am a professional and I come from Poland. I started taking games seriously when I came to Korea first time when I was 13. My playing style used to be, when I started to play, I used to fight a lot. Later, when I went to Asia, I started to play calm. And recently I started to fight again. My favorite memory as a Go player, I think, is meeting my wife. We met on a Go tournament. My personal goal used to be to become a professional Go player, and right now, just try to play better and winning as much as possible. I know everybody from EGF professionals. Like we met on many tournaments, and I think everybody is good. I think I played with each AGA professional, however, not many times. We met on some tournaments. I remember I was at the same school with Eric. I was at the same school with Gamsheng, however, in different countries. Also was in one flat with Andy on some tournament. With Calvin and Ryan, didn't have much contact, but also we met on some tournaments. I think maybe we'll be 5-3 for you.
My name is Andy Liu, and I am 27 years old. I'm an AJ certified professional one dan, and I was born in China. So I picked up the game when I was 8 years old at my local Go club in New York City. When I figured out that I liked it a lot, I would say heavily fighting oriented, but also very well balanced. Going to a lot of tournaments to keep up with the AI at a 2 to 3 stone handicap for the rest of my life. I completely trust them to pick up where I left off and put on a really good performance should I lose a game. When I know that they've been doing a lot of training in Asia and that they're all going to be very formidable opponents, I have played against every single one of them before, but the last time that I have played with any of them was over 2 years ago. I think it's very unlikely that there's going to be a total shutout because both teams have very strong members. So I'm going to say 3-2 or 2-3 is going to be the most likely outcome, and 4-1 and 1-4-1 or 1-4 is going to be possible. But again, I would be very surprised if there's a complete wipeout by either team.
Hey, Go fans. My name is Nick Sibicky, and I'm here joined with Eric Louis for the first ever Transatlantic Professional Go Team Championship. What is a Go Team Championship, you might ask? Well, we've got 5 of North America's strongest players, the 5 professionals from the AGA, facing off against 5 of the EGF, or European Go Federation's professionals, in a knockout tournament. So winner stays on. We've got 10,000 euros on the line. This is the first game in the series, so this is a big money game. We're really excited. And oh man, are these players whipping through it? They've already got this game quite well underway. So we're gonna dial it back here in a little bit and talk you through the game, see what's happened so far. Eric, have you been paying attention? Have you been following this game?
Yes, it's definitely a game I've been looking forward to for quite some time. So this is good stuff here.
Yeah, and both players are already exhibiting lots of influence by the AI, by all the advances that artificial intelligence has made in the game. We'll point out some of those moves to players, and so maybe we can get an appreciation for what's a human move versus what's a robot move, and we'll talk about that as we go along. Can you tell us a little bit about the first opening few moves, Eric? Can you step us through the board?
Sure. So we have Andy taking black. He starts with a diagonal opening, which is not as common as a normal opening.
And is this something that you think is peculiar to Andy's style, or is this just what he decided to do when he woke up this morning?
Not necessarily. Andy plays a lot of different styles and openings. So this is something that I'm not surprised to see him play.
Yeah, and I should mention Eric and Andy are both one-dan professionals with the AGA, so you guys have played a lot together. You know each other well at this point. Is that fair to say?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Mateusz Surma, the European representative, we don't actually know as much, right? Because he plays more in European circles. But
Sure.
He's two-dan professional, seems to be very, very strong, very solid player.
Well, I've actually known Mateusz for a couple of years now.
Oh,
We actually trained together for a period of time.
cool. Was this in Asia, or where was this?
Yes, this was in China, actually.
Okay. Cool. So here, let's go back a few moves here because we got to talk about some of these things.
Yeah.
So first of all, that bottom left-hand 2-space extension, right? That was made famous by AlphaGo, yes, in its self-play games, and
That's
everyone's
right.
imitating it now. This right-hand corner, this is very old-fashioned, isn't it? This top right-hand corner.
Yes.
And
So this Knight's move is also a move that AlphaGo likes.
Yeah, but the humans, we kind of fell away from it for like a 20-year period, right? Like, how common was this P17 and then Q14 exchange? Like, didn't that fall out of favor for a while, and then it wasn't until the robots sort of brought it all back?
Right. So before the AIs played Knight's moves, humans were more likely to pincer this cornerstone.
Yeah. So do you have any insight as to why? Like, why humans would go right on the attack, but the robots are much more patient. Do you have any insight as to why that value has changed?
So I think some of it has to do with the keeping the game simple. So when black plays a pincer, it could easily lead to a big fight in the opening.
Mm.
Whereas if black just simply answers, from a human perspective, it's kind of a slow move, especially when you're taking black in the opening. You tend to want to lead the game to a more dynamic development.
Yeah, we
But-
should, and I'll jump in here to mention we probably have at this point quite a few people in the stream who are unfamiliar with Go. Just some very, very basic ideas about Go. It's a surrounding game where both black and white are trying to surround majorities of the board for themselves. If they happen to surround their opponent's stones, those also count as additional points. And the easiest part of the board to surround is actually in the corners. That's why you see a lot of moves starting out in the corner. Black plays first, but as compensation, white gets some bonus points in the game we call komi. So that's what you're referencing here when you say black, needs to catch up essentially because white already starts with some points.
Exactly. Yes.
All right. So black is very patient. Again, plays this sort of new AI. The AI favored this very old style human move. And then what happens in this game?
So white is also very patient. White doesn't respond locally. For example, thing here.
That would be normal, right? That would be expected.
Yeah, this is a very normal move if white were to continue in the upper right.
Mm-hmm.
But instead, white plays here and kind of kicks the ball over to black. And in response, black also plays away.
So why? So it seemed like to me, like right now, black has this advantage in the upper right-hand corner, right? There's 2 black stones versus 1 white stone. Why not parlay that advantage and attack that white stone immediately?
So if black wanted to, he could play a move around this area. This would put some pressure on white stone in the upper right.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a perfectly playable move.
Okay. Do you have any insight as to why Andy wouldn't want to play that?
Well, he probably looks at it as there's many possible moves he can play in the opening, and they're all roughly the same value.
Mm.
And I tend to agree with that reasoning.
Okay, so he just picked one. He didn't have
right. So an approach from this side, as he did in the game, he could also play from this side.
Mm-hmm.
And if I were to answer, then a move like this feels good.
Yeah, black would be really trying to take that top, or take the top under his command.
Right. It's a way of playing very quickly.
Yeah, and we should mention that this opening, both players have an hour on the clock plus a minute of Byoyomi. That means their last minute on the clock never goes away as long as they play their final move or the previous move in 1 minute's time. That's actually kind of a short amount of time for tournaments, right, Eric?
Actually, having a minute per move can last quite a long time if you actually spend that time. If you actually spend most of that time.
But the hour of thinking time is on the shorter side at the start of the game, yes?
It's normal for tournaments.
Okay. All right. Well, it does seem like Andy is playing his moves at a faster rate, that is, than Mateusz.
Yeah, that was what I expected. Andy is typically a very fast player.
So after white responds in that top left-hand corner, Andy plays this move in the bottom right to approach white's formation. That'd be a move I'd be kind of scared to play, right? White already has 2 stones there. If I was putting my stone in that bottom right-hand corner, I feel like I'm putting myself at a disadvantage immediately. Do you feel the same way?
A bit. So actually, this approach has kind of an AI flavor to it as well.
Yeah, I don't see humans approaching this close, right? This is a 2 against the 1 kind of danger zone, right?
Right. So, as a human, you might be reluctant to approach this closely to white's 2 stones. So instead, you might play a move further away, like this.
Mm-hmm. But is that what you would play, or what would you do?
So I've studied some AI myself. So I've learned that this move is now kind of a standard. When you so the thinking before AI was that this kind of development would be not necessarily favorable for black, because black is actually getting under some degree of attack.
And so black's under attack. I mean, black's still under attack, or can be under attack at any time. So why isn't black worried about this?
Mainly because of this move. So we see that black's two stones are not as weak as they seem. Black has actually great flexibility in this shape.
So black can run them out or counterattack?
That's right. And especially in this position on the bottom half of the board, black has more stones than white.
I see.
So this fight is something that black can handle.
All right. So is this like, can we call black baiting white here to attack this stone? Is that like a 2019 way to put it in terms of game terminology?
Yes. Black is perfectly willing to let white play this way if he wants to.
Okay. And Eric, I just also want to remind both of us, we do have marking tools here too, so we can actually mark up the board with letters. Like I can spell out the alphabet right here and talk about all these points. Isn't that cool?
It's a good feature of KGS.
That's a good feature of KGS here. For those of you who aren't used to playing KGS, there are some nice things. All right, there you go. You should have control back. All right, so anyway, Andy approaches, and then what happens in this game?
So white is playing in another open area. He switches to the left side.
So this is kind of like starting like a third potential area to fight, right? Or maybe even fourth, depending how you think of it, right? Because, again, I feel like there's a lot of tension in that P17 stone at the top and that black O3 stone at the bottom, right? Those are very fluid stones, right? Where a fight can erupt at any time.
That's true. So actually, if I'm taking white, this move would be in one of my considerations. But I think I would prefer to play on the bottom still, move here.
I see. Do you think the players are treating the top right and the bottom right sort of like Miai? Like where if one player decides to take the advantage in one of those areas, the other player will take the advantage in the other?
Possibly. So for the time being, the P17 and O3 stones are light, what we call light. So there's no sense of urgency for both sides to act right now.
Okay. And so black immediately attacks this stone, right? This is the first stone that we actually have come under direct attack, yes?
Yes, so this pincer is the most natural move against white's approach.
Would there ever be a case where instead of pincering right away, black would choose to play something like C16 first? Like I can see a variation that goes something like where black asks white what you want to do here in the corner, and then based on the shape then comes after the white stone. Or is this just not on your radar? Is this just not a possibility? You want to attack first?
It's possible, but let's look at what might happen in this position. So white would push down, and now this doesn't feel good for black.
I see, because white has that whole outside, and that C8 stone is actually working nicely with that pseudo capture of the two black stones.
Right. C8 is in the perfect position.
I see.
So black wants to. So actually, white's stone is outnumbered, right, on the left. So it's natural that black would want to put some pressure on it first. And after white jumps out, black has many choices. So locally, black usually plays here. Kind of trying to make white heavier. If white answers like this, then black could jump up. And now white's 3 stones are kind of heavy. It's not that easy to move. And white won't be able to sacrifice them very easily.
Right, right. I see.
So white is not going to play here, most likely. Instead, I can consider trying to take Sente, trying to grasp the initiative and invade over here.
Mm. Wow, just throwing that into making the fight even bigger.
Right. So white's treating these stones lightly and instead putting some pressure on black.
Yeah, and here, let me jump in and just say, hey, viewers, we just hit 1,000 viewers in the Twitch stream. That's amazing. First of all, welcome all you people who are either new to the game or just checking out what Go is about. I want to, thank you for coming by. This is the first ever 2019 Transatlantic Team Go Championship. We have 5 professional players from North America facing off against 5 professionals from Europe. We are watching the game live. My name is Nick Sibicky of Nick Sibicky Go Lectures on YouTube. I'm joined by Eric Louis, one Don professional from the AGA. We're doing some live game commentary and trying to explain what these players are thinking because, as many of you know, Go is a really hard game to understand. And it was recently, finally, I should say, one of the last games where computers actually surpassed some of the best human players. If you are just brand new to the game and you're just looking at this board and you're just very confused, let me just draw your eye to the left-hand side of that board. When you see white stones next to black stones, next to white stones, next to black stones, all in that hole, let me mark it off. I gotta find my little tool here. All in this area. This is an area where a lot of fighting is going to happen. And Go, you want your stones to be connected to other stones, and when it sort of alternates white black like this, oh man, we're gonna see some death. We're gonna see something get captured, which is always exciting. If you would like to support more content like this, again, we have 10,000 euros on the line starting today with this Team Go Championship. This is game 1. Please visit transatlanticgo.org/support. So, Eric, tell me what's going to happen with this fight on the left-hand side. Like, if the game goes this way.
So if the game had progressed like this, we could expect some fighting towards the center.
Okay, so everyone's just going to run out and no one's going to settle or take any points. It's just going to be a giant flee for your life kind of situation.
Pretty much, yes.
All right, so that's not what the players did. What did the players do in the game?
So Andy with black attached towards the corner. So my reasoning is that he was a bit wary of this variation.
So he tried to settle immediately. He didn't just want to have a big running flight to the center.
Yes, and that is one strategy to keep things simple. To keep the position into something that he can more easily control.
I see. And then this white move, right? White has to use the two stones that he started to run out, and black really didn't respond to directly, right? With that D4 stone. White's trying to cause some trouble, cause some mischief down in that lower left-hand corner.
Yeah, so this attachment is the key point of black's shape. So
and Mateusz also has studied a lot of AI games and these robot games, and this is a move that the robots really popularized, right? AlphaGo in particular.
Yes. So all the professional players these days are studying with AI to some degree. So this move is certainly not a surprise. And up to here, it's actually a standard variation. Now we can kind of call it part of the corner Joseki.
And this settled kind of peacefully, right? Despite all the tension, the players didn't let it devolve into a big, giant, game-determining fight.
So, faced with attachment, black could Hane from the inside, and white will play here.
And now we have a fight, yes?
Yes. So this variation is more risky for black.
Yeah, because the corner group is now cut off from that center group.
Right.
And here, I'm going to borrow control for a second. This A group, is that alive locally? Or does black need another move?
Are you asking me?
I am asking you. You're the one-don professional here.
Oh. Yeah, it's not completely alive if black doesn't add another move. But...
Okay.
Yeah.
So in the game, Andy and Mateusz both settled peacefully.
Right.
Does that benefit either one of them, or do you think it's pretty even?
So far, the position looks pretty even.
If you were playing this game, who would you prefer, white or black at this point? You can play a few more moves so we can see how this group actually ends up settling. But because black got to take Sente here, right, to start this this top move. So do you like black just because of that, or do you think it's pretty even?
I think it's a pretty good position for black.
Well, you could make the argument that white could do the same thing on the bottom, right? If black goes after that P17 stone, white could just forget about it and just go after the O3 stone.
You mean at this point?
At this point, or sorry, O3 stone, not P3. Yeah, if black attacks the top, white could just attack the bottom, no?
Yes, white could play here.
See. We have a question from the commentary. One viewer asked about the D7 peep. Can we go back for a second and take a look at that? Is there any point to this move, or is this just a bad exchange for black?
So black is aiming to play here and separate white.
And he needs D7 to do this?
Well, yes. So if black did this directly, white would...
I see. Would play the clamp at B7.
White would play this. So it would be a sacrifice. Sacrifice for white. No, sorry. Black is just dead. Yeah.
So
yeah,
go back
so I was looking at this.
Yeah. Okay, but there's a throw in there. Yeah, exactly. So black doesn't actually have enough liberties to capture first.
Yes.
Right. So that variation doesn't quite work.
Right. So if white plays away, then this would definitely work now.
I see. Because that F7 now allows black to split these two white groups on the left.
That's right.
Okay, and you do need the peep to do that. The D7 stone. To link up all the black stones. Okay, let's get back into it.
So white plays here.
This isn't a move I've seen before. Now, granted, I haven't studied as many games, and certainly not as many AI games as probably either the players nor you have. Do you have some insight into where this move comes from?
This is an AI move, yes.
Okay, because it's really thin, right? Like, this is a very thin move.
So it's actually a really interesting one. So as black, how would you answer it, Nick?
My instinct would be to P15, right? My instinct would be to look at that white stone and go, you know what? You're just BSing me. That's not a move you can play. I'm just going to cut everything and kill everything. But
Right.
that's just my personality.
And how about for white? How would you continue?
I would probably look at either the Hanes. I mean, there's three moves I would look at immediately, right? There's the O15 Hane, there's the Q13 Hane, and I'd also look at R17 and see if R17 might be a good exchange first before making either one of those.
So I'm thinking R17.
You're thinking R17, okay.
So if black continues, so in this shape, I can cut.
Right. And now it's just a straight up fight. That does look good for white.
Yes. So this is actually the purpose of this attachment.
Wow.
So if white were to play this first, and we're assuming black answers here instead of playing Atari.
Mm-hmm.
So now white would never play a move here. This would just be a bad move. And black would answer like this and just keep harassing white's shape.
I see. So by getting black to commit first, white can decide if he wants to R17 right away?
Right, so this is what black this is what white wants black to play. This is kind of a bait
Oh, you're telling me I just got baited?
for this attachment to work.
Mm.
Yeah.
I see. So what are
So,
other black's other responses to this if being aggressive doesn't immediately work?
So Hane from the other side is what he played, and that's normal in his shape.
Okay.
So in response, I'd expect white to Hane as well.
Hmm. White is out, but still looks very thin and can be harassed, no? Or is it too hard to harass white now?
So black has to worry about his stone at the top. Although black could easily... So I'm expecting black to turn at O12 at this point.
Hmm. Do you think Andy made a mistake here by helping out the M17 stone rather than perfecting the right-hand group?
It's hard to say. This is the most obvious move, and there's nothing wrong with it.
Okay.
And actually, it's aiming to play here next, which is very big in itself. So
Right, and then black can attack that.
Yeah.
Yeah, black can have an attack on both sides.
That's right.
So white is playing this combination to settle the group. Is that what white's expecting to get out of this?
White isn't as worried about settling as he wants to give black a hard time. So Atari, that's an interesting one.
Oh, I see. Yeah, so there's a couple weaknesses here for black's shape that white is exploiting. And I think up to there, this is where the players are thinking, yes, this is the current game. We've reviewed up to that point. Here's what we're going to do, Eric. I think we need to take a quick 5-minute break. Before we do, let's remind you guys, please help support this series. We've got 10,000 euros on the line for these 5 North American professionals and 5 European professionals. This is game 1 of the series between the AGA and EGF professionals. That's the American Go Association and European Go Federation. If you would like to support this, please visit our page, transatlanticgo.org/support. We are, very active, both organizations, in promoting Go around the world. We hope that this tournament in particular helps us reach a new generation of fans and players. And again, with all these new AI moves and robot analysis, man, you can really learn Go just about anywhere. You don't have to go study, in Korea or China or Japan, right? These more traditional Go playing countries. So we'll be back in 5 minutes. We'll take a look again at that last about 7 or 8 move sequence, because this sequence is pretty intense as it is. The players are taking a lot more time on the clock. If you guys are watching the game right now, you can sense that. The opening, they played quite quickly, but right now the moves are coming a little bit slower. So we'll be back in about 5 minutes. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Welcome back, Go fans. We are broadcasting the 2019 Transatlantic Professional Go Team Championship, and I know that's a mouthful, but that's what it is. My name is Nick Sibicky. I'm joined here by Eric Louis. We got to do some little thank yous to Stephen Hu and Lee Hajin, Michael Wanek, who are actually putting together the show behind the scenes. They don't get to be on camera, but sure, gosh, golly, nice. They are good people and doing a lot of work for us and making us look good, hopefully. Assuming you guys and the stream is back on track. I hope you guys are enjoying the game so far. We're gonna break down this last sequence of moves that just happened here in just a second. But I do want to remind you all, if you want to support this series, please visit transatlanticgo.org/support. We do have 10,000 euros on the line. Eric, is that adding a lot of pressure to these players today?
More or less. I think both players are feeling a bit of the pressure and taking every move very seriously.
Yeah, and we also just noticed that they're playing moves a lot more slowly now at this point in the game than they were, early on at the beginning. So far, where we're at in this game, we've had some potentials for big fights, but really the players have been resolving groups pretty peacefully, wouldn't you say?
Right, they're solidifying themselves in the beginning before starting any intense fighting.
Yeah, just before we play this next sequence out, give me a general lay of the land. What's going on this board? Who do you think has the advantage?
Okay, so at this point, Black has a slight advantage.
Okay, so why is that?
My instincts.
Your instincts. Well, here, let me mark some things up on this board. Let's see. We got a couple groups here. This A group in the top left-hand corner looks like it might be able to be. It's strong enough right now, but it's not making a lot of profit for White. White's not going to be able to surround a lot of territory with it, and it could come under attack. Meanwhile, this B group is also unsettled for White. The C group in the bottom right, that looks solid. That's to White's advantage. And the D group actually is White's main source of cash right now, which is kind of scary because this is probably only worth, about 10 points total, this D group? Is that about right? Yes. What would you evaluate that value for that White group on the bottom?
It's less than 10.
Less than 10. All right. For Black, we're looking at some similar things. This A group we're fighting over right now, it has some weaknesses White's trying to take advantage of in the game. The B group, of course, is very solid. I would evaluate that at about 10 points. Is that fair?
Yes, that's minimal. Minimal 10 points.
Yeah, more than 10 points. The C group is pretty solid. We can't really give it a whole lot of points yet because that bottom area is so wide open at D. And Black, this new stone I just labeled D, can come under attack. So this bottom area is going to be an area we're going to be looking for fighting soon. But it looks like White has just a little bit more, or I should say less potential at this point. And is that why you're liking Black?
Right. So to me, Black stones are more efficient.
I guess that is what this game is all about. Eric, you have control of the game. Can you step us through what Black and White do next? And I should just make it very clear. The Black player is Andy Liu, representative for the AGA, or our American contingent. White is Mateusz Surma, who's representing Europe. He's from Poland. Both are really strong players, and we're expecting some fireworks to go off. So step us through the sequence.
So in the game, Black played here, but Black should turn here instead.
Oh, so you think this is a Black mistake?
Yes. So after White extends, then Black can play here.
I see. So you want to make White commit to that shape and solidify your own weaknesses or prevent your own weaknesses before. Yes. Okay. So this is an opportunity for Europe to take command. What does Mateusz do about it?
So Mateusz attaches into the corner. Shows us this very, very nice sequence.
Yeah, and then this diagonal move I really like.
Yes.
So some things. Hold on, go back for a second, Eric. If we go forward this game move, There is a weakness here at A. If you guys are new to Go, you probably have no idea what's going on. But this black group, which I label B, only has 2 liberties. And white can play A to essentially force black to capture this stone at C. Let me just actually go back to the move tool. I'll show you what it's like. White is threatening to capture here. And if we look at this dumpling of black stones, that's not a good shape, right? You don't want to have a big fat group of stones that can be easily captured. That's just, we do call that a dumpling. That is our terminology. So here, Eric, you got control again. Show us what else white is aiming at.
Well, that's exactly what white is aiming at with this diagonal move.
Okay.
So and black plays here to prevent that.
Okay.
Basically, black's options are to play here or to defend like this. So this move feels just a bit too passive. Black doesn't have any good reason to play here when he could play further down, taking more eye space.
I see, but does this move give more Aji to white? Is there more follow-ups for white here if black plays this way? The other way looks more solid. So
by playing here, well, this move becomes Sente for white, right?
I see.
But it's not a valuable move.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay, so this move is kind of unexpected.
Yeah, wouldn't we expect to see them continue on the right-hand side?
Right, that would be normal. So a move like this would occur to me.
I see. So what is white trying to do? Is this a mistake for Europe?
Well, for now, let's just call it fighting spirit. It looks like a very sharp move. Trying to take away black space.
Would you play this move in your games?
I would think about it, but it's hard to say if I would actually play this.
Is this a move that Mateusz plays because he might feel like he's already behind a little bit, so he wants to erupt that whole top into confusion?
So my understanding of Mateusz is that he's usually very self-confident. So I don't think he's behind. To me, it's still a very close game.
Okay.
And this seems like a move where he's trying to lead the game to more fighting.
I see. Well, the games of Andy I've seen play, Andy likes really big, giant dragon fighting, racing, confusing things. Does he not?
Sometimes.
Okay. Andy Liu, I should also mention, for those of you watching, is now a film star. Many of you have probably seen the Surrounding Game documentary that is available online, and that is about the actual beginning of the American professional Go playing system, which Andy was the first Go playing professional. So he actually has a large part in that film that documents our new professional system of the last, it's really about 10 years in the making, I guess, at this point. Yeah, he's the first American professional. Sorry, I should clarify. All right, so what happens? How does Andy respond to this deep invasion?
So black blocks from this side. So the alternative, if black wants to respond directly, is to cover from the top.
I see.
And now white would extend here.
This would make me feel safer as black. Like my gut is to keep my stones connected. If all my stones are deep inside this, oops, sorry, I did not mean to play that move. Stupid tools. This area, there's a white wall over here. There's a white wall over here at C and D. I just want to keep my stones connected and have a path to escape somewhere like around A and B. So this would be very tempting for me to play in the game when Andy plays this move to separate the white stone immediately, I would feel very scared. Should I feel scared as black? Like, is he just making the fight bigger? And is he investing more? Is he doubling down on the position?
Well, no, black is actually asserting his strength. He's aiming at playing d17 next.
You show us that move?
This move.
Okay. Ah.
So actually, black's white stones here can easily come under attack.
I see. So that M17 stone he's going to sacrifice?
Well, no. This the M17 stone cannot be captured, and we'll see that in the game actually.
Okay. So white crawls out.
Right.
I see.
So now white scoops out some territory on the bottom.
When white does need some points.
So in exchange, black's compensation for giving up the points is a more solid position, and now this Atari, this d17 becomes very attractive.
I see.
A very big move. So.
And white would also keep Sente, right? White would get to play the next move in this case.
Yes.
So even if white isn't getting that many points and left a weakness, it's still white's turn.
That's right.
Okay. And I think this is the place where the players are in the live game, where they're thinking a lot more about each turn. Can you tell us a little more about Andy? Because again, as also another American pro, you've known him a long time. You've played a lot of games with him. You've studied with him, and you studied with Mateusz too. Give us a little more insight into these players.
So I'm going to start with Mateusz.
Okay.
We studied together for a period of time in Beijing at a Go school. The best thing I can say about him is that he is one of, if not the most persistent player I've ever met. He's extremely, he's also works extremely hard, especially during training. He took every game seriously, even when it was just a simple practice match that had nothing riding on it. He would take every move seriously, and that's just kind of the kind of person he is.
So he's very disciplined in his methodology.
Right.
Yeah. And how does Andy's study go?
So Andy, when he's active, he plays a lot of online Go. And that's the main way, as far as I know, that he developed his strength.
Yeah, and I think you can see some of that in the Surrounding Game documentary, right? Where he is just playing game after game, or like 8 games at once, just online, just doing so many reps.
Right. He apparently tried to play something like 40 games in a 24-hour period. I think was yeah. So in terms of their styles, so Andy's his trademark is his speed. He has really great instincts and reading skills. So that allows him to quickly analyze the position and then make a decision of where he wants to play.
I see. And also get advantage on the clock, on the game timer. We do see a little bit of an advantage for Andy. It's not a huge amount, but it's there.
Yes, it's actually not as much of an advantage that I thought he might get. So I think that might speak to the pressure that they're feeling.
10,000 euros is a lot of money.
Right, and there's also the team element. You know, you want to play well for your team. So.
Right. Yeah, you're not just responsible for your own game here.
Yeah.
I see. So here, at this point, we're almost hit 1,500 viewers on the Twitch stream, which is really exciting. Welcome to all you new Go fans. We are converting you into Go fans at this point. I suspect many of you are really confused. What is Go? Eric, what is Go?
It's a fun game.
It's a really fun game, and it can be a very confusing game, but it has really simple rules. I think we can probably simplify the game to about 4 rules. Can you do it that? Can you get us there in about 4 rules of how to play Go?
I'll do my best.
All right.
So it's played by 2 players. You place black and white stones on a board. Black plays first. And the goal of the game is to surround more territory than your opponent. Territory is spaces that you control on the board.
Yeah, so those spaces at the top marked with triangles, those are likely going to be white's territory because white has got his stones crammed up against the side of that board, and those will count as points at the end of the game. Okay. And you also get points for capturing your opponent's stones, right? So a lot of the game is spent fighting and trying to capture each other. There's an analogy I think they use. I think it's translated from the Chinese rather than Japanese, but it's like Go is like 2 dragons trying to surround each other. Have you heard that before, Eric?
I think so.
Okay.
So actually, the literal translation from Chinese is Wei Qi is the surrounding game, and that is what the documentary is called.
Right. But it turns out if you have 2 dragons trying to simultaneously bite each other's tail off, it leads to a lot of non-linearities. Like, it gets really complicated when we actually look at these local positions. And Go is sort of seen as this last vestige of humanity in the realm of strategy games, where chess, I think 1995, 96, IBM developed Deep Blue and beat Garry Kasparov. Go, that really didn't happen until about 3 years ago.
Right.
It took AI many more advances in programming and computing power before we could actually have a computer that could beat a human at Go, like one of our top humans, that is. It just, Go invokes some sense of human heuristics or creativity that you really can't brute force, like the way Deep Blue beat Kasparov.
Yeah, it was an achievement that most people thought would take at least 10 more years.
Yeah. And so it's really, speaking a lot of credit to, those people who develop neural networks. And early on, also Monte Carlo engines also actually helped a lot. But really fascinating game. Man, is it worthy of a lifelong pursuit. If any of you out there are watching this and thinking, I just want to play the best game that's in existence, and that's it. Like, it's hard. You can make a very strong case for Go for just being the best strategy game, given the almost nearly infinite nature of it. There are more possible variations in a Go game than there are atoms in the known universe. And man, does that keep me coming back for more. So we do have a couple more moves played. Let's talk about the last 2 moves. We're going to take another couple-minute break. Eric, can you step us back and tell us what these players did or thinking about? Okay,
so white played here. That's to settle the group in the upper left. As I mentioned before, D17 is a big move for black to play next. So this move prevents that.
Is white happy to play it, or is white kind of sad to play that move, though? Like, is that a move white wants? Like, that was a Joseki move, right, for white to play a long time ago that white chose not to play.
Yes.
But at this point, for white to take a whole move and go back and settle a group, does it feel like we lose something? Because there's this fight going on the right-hand side of the board. I'm not sure if the players have noticed. These 2 white stones here at A and B, they're cutting, this black group in half right now. Let me mark this black group as B. Instead, we have this 2-stone white group and this 2-stone black group that are very unsettled, and we don't know how they're going to end up, or either if one of them is going to get captured. Is it really worth the time for white to ignore it?
Well, I think that's what white was spending his time on. So while this C18 move is big, in terms of points and stability, it doesn't put any pressure on black.
Yeah.
So if we look at black's group on the left, it's perfectly safe even after white plays his move. So black can play anywhere he wants at this point.
Yeah, I like where Mateusz was so quick. Maybe not quick. He took a long time, I guess, but his style was quick in terms of the move content to play a move like K18 at the top of the board here. This stone, right? He ignored the right hand fight to play this very fast invading move to upset the black group, but now it feels like he has to go back and pay a move at C18 on that top left hand corner. We still don't, and he still can't follow up on the right hand side. So I feel like the European player had this advantage here. Instead of pressing it, instead of parlaying it, he ended up having to give it back to the American. Or in this case, is that your read on the situation? Is that your feeling?
Right. So white's playing this move with some reluctance, but that is the price that he's paying.
Do you think he got a good deal, or what? Should he have just ignored the top and played the right?
I think it's a reasonable deal. So if white were to continue on the right side, it's not easy to find a move.
That move looks good though, doesn't it? Like, wouldn't white be happy to play there, develop the right hand side, help the 2-stone group, attack the black 2-stone group? There's a lot of nice things going for this move.
So these 2 stones are not important at this time. Black would most likely play here right away.
I see.
And now white would have to add another move.
Well, my feeling was for white to do this before the K18 invasion, where that black group wasn't so solid at the top. If you remember, if you go back all the way here, this K18 move stood out to me as being a risky direction.
So at this point, white wants to do something on the right side. So I think.
I mean, I would.
White was spending a lot of time. I couldn't think of anything. Couldn't find any sequences that he was satisfied with. So that's why he switched to the top.
Okay. Would you be happy with Q10 here, or would you want to do something more dramatic?
Well, so as white, I might turn towards the bottom, just starting a new area of fighting.
Oh, really? Wow. Okay. So you don't like my move either. No one likes me. All right.
Yeah.
Good to know. Here, let's go back to the game because the players have played another couple moves. And again, once we get caught up, we will take a break for a couple minutes and let the game continue on. Andy peeped here. So what's this move about?
It's a asking move. And it's also the weakness of white's shape. If white answers here, this would be really, really bad for white.
All right, and plus there's still this cut here.
Right.
Black could actually build a pretty big middle, despite white having 2 walls at the start of this game in the top left and top right hand corner. If the game goes like this and black gets to cut at 0-14, we're looking at a lot of center territory for black, not white.
Yeah, and actually white isn't alive locally at the top.
Yeah. So that'd be a very dangerous sequence for white to play that way. So white resists more forcefully here. Or I should say, instead of forcefully, he succumbs to an exchange, I guess. Is that how you classify this? Like, what just happened? Black just made a huge number of points in the corner.
Yeah. This
is a big gain in terms of the point count for the American.
I feel like black is clearly in control at this point.
All right, so here's what we're going to do. I'm reminding you all, we are watching the 2019 Transatlantic Team Go Championship. We've got 10,000 euros on the line. If you would like to support, please go to transatlanticgo.org/support, and please make your donation known. You can follow us on Twitter, USGoWeb. Please use hashtag TransatlanticGo if you are posting about the game. If you're new to Go and you're just checking us out, welcome. We do have almost 1,600 viewers on the streams, which is amazing. And we hope that this tournament really helps bring Go to a new generation of players, especially with all the exciting advances that computer AI has made in the last 3 years. Eric and I are going to take a little break. The game will continue on, so stay tuned. When we come back, we're gonna see if we can dissect what happened a little bit more. If we think, I have the feeling too that black is ahead in the point count. We're going to see how Europe can throw this game into a little more confusion or make some big plays to get back in control. Shout out to Stephen Hu, Michael Wanek, Lee Hajin for making this happen today. Again, we got a lot of people working behind the scenes to bring this all together. All right, thanks. We'll be back. Hey, Go fans, welcome back to the 2019 Transatlantic Professional Go Team Championship. My name is Nick Sibicky of Nick Sibicky Go Lectures. I'm joined by Eric Louis, one Dan AGA professional. How you doing, Eric?
Doing good.
Awesome. We're here watching this game between the American representative, Andy Liu, versus the European representative, Mateusz Surma. Oh, man. Screwed up his name. Had one job. Couldn't do it. Anyway, this game is the players have slowed down their pace of moves a little bit. They're taking a little more time. There's still a lot of complicated things going on. I think we last left off with this G16 move. Is that right, Eric?
That's right.
What is Andy trying to do with this move? This move looks a little slow, and like these two groups don't really look unsafe. Like, what is this move doing?
Right. So Black has just achieved a great result in the upper right at this point. So, as you said, Black's group in the center isn't under any danger. I mean, it's not. It's pretty safe at the moment. So as Black, I would definitely play on the bottom side.
Yeah, that feels like there's so much space down there, right? Like that, and there's that one little stone at 03 who's just hanging out. We'll call it the A stone. And we've got the B group all the way over here, and man, there's a lot of space in between those things. Wouldn't a Black move just, unite those two portions into just a lot of territory?
I agree. So a move like here might occur to me, or if you want to be like AlphaGo, then you attach into the corner and play this.
Yeah. So what is Andy doing with the G16 move? Did he just make a mistake and turn this game back in favor of the European?
This is a very conservative move. Black probably feels like he's ahead, so he wants to play even more solidly. And right. So ideally, Black hopes that White will answer this move somehow. For example, like this. Then Black can play somewhere else.
Yeah, but Mateusz has no time. He's not going to answer this, right?
Right. White's falling behind, so he has to do something more active.
See. And so what is this move he plays?
So this move is aiming to play at E5 next. So okay. So after Black plays here,
E5 still works right now, doesn't it? Like Black's move doesn't fix this shape defect.
Right. So White's sequence is something like this.
But maybe Black is happy enough here? Like this isn't good enough for White?
Or Black might Hane.
Well, I guess White wouldn't cut right now, right? Because this would be still a good result for Black.
Well, White would cut and then...
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah.
All right, now White's going to fight for the center of the board.
Yes.
Cool. So do you think Black's response at H2 was too conservative, or was this the proper way to go about it?
It's the proper move. So this exchange, White actually doesn't gain anything immediately unless White continues here.
White cuts, yeah.
Yeah. But in the game, White actually didn't continue.
White just took points, and here at this point, since White just solidified the corner into, we'll say his territory, can we get some quick counts in some groups? Here, I'm going to take control from you, and let's label them. Let's cut them up. How much is this corner now worth for White in terms of points?
About 15 points.
All right, and then this group over here, what would you score this as?
Let's call that 8 or 9 points.
Okay, in the top left.
Maybe 5 or 6.
Okay, that seems a little bit generous given that white didn't respond to the G16 stone, but I'll trust your count.
Right, it could potentially become a weak group.
Yeah.
If black played F16 next, white wouldn't be locally alive.
So we got to watch out for this move right here as the follow-up for black.
Right.
Okay, and then this group for white, what would you score this one as?
About 6 or 7. I'm including the capture at
the capture at Q16, right? Yeah. So by my count, that puts us at about 34 points before Comey, about 40 points. White does get some points in hand in return for going second in the game. That is how Go works. That phenomenon is called Comey. So we got about 40 points on this board for white. If this game were to end right now, that's about what we would score it.
So actually, what's interesting about white's group in the upper right is that it's not completely alive yet either.
Yeah, it can still be attacked, right? But we're gonna give him the benefit, right? We're gonna assume he can manage for now. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's score a little scoring for black. What is this group over here worth for black?
About 10.
Okay, and down here in the bottom left.
Oh, this one's a bit tricky because there's the potential for white to play E5, and then the balance of points would just go out the window.
I see. Then it goes right. It devolves right into a fight.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So tricky. I would just call it 10.
Yeah. Yeah, sounds good to me.
All right. Let's call it 10. It's 10, 20. What is the this stone? It's C here at 03. We can't really give any score to, right? This is kind of nothing for nobody area. Is that fair?
Right. So I mean, black has some potential. Black has potential at the bottom to increase.
But white can attack it too, right? So, it's hard for black to just turn it into points.
Right. So we won't count that in the point tally. Yeah.
All right. How about the C group in the center? Is this worth anything, or is it just gonna get the 2 eyes and be on its way to safety?
In my eyes, it's worth a couple points at least. Maybe we can say 5.
Oh, that many. Okay. All right, and then the upper corner for black, this group, which got quite big after the R17 white stone got isolated. What would you count that corner as?
About 15, 16. Yeah.
Okay. So really, if we're just going by those numbers, it's really a 40-point to 40-point game. This is actually really even. But the determining factor is that at this point right now it's black to play. So even though the board is exactly 40 to 40 by our estimated count, we don't really have. We still feel like there's an advantage for black, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Is that true?
Right, and that's part of that reasoning is because we're thinking about the strength of groups relative to each other. So black's groups are thicker than whites. They're stronger.
Well, after this move at C18 and this move at Q2 in the bottom corner, and obviously this group on the left is already plenty strong. White just really has one weakish group and then the 2 cutting stones, right? It's just there's this A group and this B group that are the only real weaknesses for white.
And after black plays F16, white's upper left is unsettled as well.
I see. Okay. All right. So I think that gives us a good approximation of where we're at in terms of the lead. I'm going to throw control back to you, Eric. Step us through this next sequence that the players play.
All right. So I saw that Andy played this attachment very quickly. And actually, this was also the first move that came to my mind. And so the aim here is to over-concentrate white in the lower right corner. So
Yeah.
Yeah. So after white jumps to Q2, white is already very solid in the corner. So black isn't black is no longer reluctant to attach here and make white even stronger.
I see. It's sort of like telling white, look, you've already had your piece of cake. Would you like another piece of cake? When white is already sick of having cake, right?
Right.
Just eat more cake, white.
Ah, okay. So black makes the exchange here and then takes away white's eye. So it seems like black is still treating white's group as unsettled. So even after white captures the stone, so for example, if we consider white's group on the top to be cut off and isolated, white is actually dead if he doesn't add another move.
Wow.
And it is probably a little difficult to see right away, but the move that black would play to kill that group. Okay, let's move somewhere. Black's move will be here.
Oh, wow. Q18 doesn't work? You have to play Q19?
Right, so if black plays Q19, then white lays like this.
I see.
And just to make it clear, we have one eye and two eyes here.
Yeah, for new people watching Go, how you guarantee life for any group is to make sure it has two, what we call eyes. In this case, we're looking at this one at, thought I had control. No, I don't have control. Did you take control of the game?
No, you have control.
I do have control. I just can't click the right move. There we go. I just can't use a mouse. That's what we learned today. We have this move at N18 that black can never play because that will immediately completely surround the invading stone. So the stone would just come off the board. And if white has a second place like this, which is very similar to M19, black can never kill this group as long as we have this type of two-eye situation. So I see. Okay, so go back to O19. Go back to your really fancy, awesome move that actually works and not my, junk. Move
Right,
of O18.
so
how does this one work?
So if white plays something, if white plays here, then black reduces from this side. And white only has one eye.
I see. Can you go further? What if white tries N19? What would happen?
So black would.
Let's say white plays like Q18.
Here, and then
black would pop a stone in there, and actually that 3 spaces that white has would actually reduce all down to 1 when white captures that stone. So for we'll say intermediate and advanced Go players, this is a pretty common, very simple read. For new players, I think we just went way over their head. But that's you just learned some Go in spirit, at least, even if you are new and didn't understand how to reduce the eye space of that group.
Oh, and something worth mentioning is white plays here.
Oh yeah.
Then black would attach here.
That's fantastic. And so in this case, keep going further because this falsifies the eye, and this is a difficult concept even for intermediate Go players sometimes.
Right.
It looks like white has 2 eyes again.
Well, actually, this eye is a fake eye here.
Right. And so what makes a fake eye?
What makes a fake eye?
Yeah, what makes a fake eye?
That is the question. Could you help me out here?
Yeah. So the key thing here is that even though it looks like an eye, all these stones here, let me give control to myself. This white group here actually only has 1 liberty. For it to be 2 eyes, all of your white stones need to have 2 liberties or 2 eyes. And after if I just go to the regular move tool, whoops, we'll play that anyway. After black fills in all these liberties, you can see this whole white group is actually 1 liberty away from being captured. And so if given the opportunity, white will either have to fill it in, which will make the eye go away, or black will just capture it and also kill it. So it's all the white stones actually need to be touching, or at least connected to the 2 liberties, those 2 eyes. All right, this Q19 move is very, very cool. I kind of want to just copy this board position and give it to my students as homework, because this move is very unintuitive. I think even the advanced Go players here who see this or who are watching this game wouldn't normally read out a Q19, right? We look at P18 and Q18, but Q19, very, very cool stuff, Eric. So here, let's give you control again and bring us back to the game sequence.
Okay, so
yeah, Andy's harassing this group.
So white plays here.
That's a big move on the right-hand side. So given Andy's play, you suspect that he sees Q19, right?
Oh yeah, I'm sure both of them see it.
Yeah. And so with a move like the P10 move, right, when black jumps out, like black is really attacking both sides, right? This move, he's still continuing the pressure on that top group, and those 2 stones, the 2 cutting stones right here and here, are really looking like they're going to die, yes?
Yeah, if black adds another move at around R9, then that will become solid territory for black.
Yeah, they're just not even dead. They're just trapped inside of black points. It's just like, black got to eat the cake and the donut and the pastry and whatever pie is available.
And according to our analysis earlier, the points are relatively balanced. So if black were to all of a sudden gain a bunch of points on the right side, then black would definitely be in the lead.
Is that like a 15 to 20 point gain, you think, or what would you score that gain as?
Yeah, something around 15, 20 points.
Wow. So yeah, white can't afford to give black just 15 or 20 points just for free here.
So this is a free exchange. It's comfortable for black to force white to make this awkward shape.
And I do want to keep our eye on the game timer. At this point, Mateusz has, I think it's 13 seconds of regular time. I don't think his Byoyomi has officially started. Andy has 9 minutes of main thinking time on the clock that he's currently using since it's his move. So it's ticking down. Once Mateusz does run out of time, he'll always have exactly 1 minute to play a move. Do you know how many Byoyomis there are in this game?
Yes, each player has 5 periods of 1 minute.
Okay. So actually, I should correct myself. Mateusz will have 5 minutes essentially, but he'll always have that last minute, right? So he can take up to 5 minutes on any one move, but then he won't have that 5 minutes anymore from here on out. He'll just have that final minute. So Andy is applying time pressure, and that is what you expected, right?
Definitely.
Andy does play his moves very quickly. And, I do recommend the surrounding game film. If you guys have not seen it, you can find it available online. Andy Liu, the first American professional, is a featured, we'll say, star of the film, right? Like it is to some degree the story of him becoming professional.
Yes.
Did you ever talk with Andy about becoming a movie star?
Oh yeah, all the time. Yeah. It just comes up every time I see him. Yeah.
Really? Is this a fair exchange for both players, or are both players happy with these last 3 moves?
So white is really pressing here. So black's move here is aiming at white's unsettled group at the top.
Right. This whole group that we showed isn't quite alive yet.
So white attaches here to take more territory. And now,
yeah. So white locally got a good result in terms of points, right? Like white actually gained 10 plus points here.
Yeah.
But what's the price? What is white paying for this?
So a move like around this area would be Sente, would force white to fix on the top. For example, like this. And then black can turn his attention towards the bottom where he can make more territory.
I see.
Or pressing in this area.
I see. And if I label some stones here for just a second, black essentially got to play all these stones in the middle in tempo, right? White kind of had to respond to most of them in some way. So these are kind of like free stones. And because black now has these stones, that center is looking really potentially developable into territory for black. And on top of it, this white stone at A really is losing friends real fast. It's really hard to see where that stone is going to run to if it needs to run somewhere. There's still the defect at B. White can still cut through. But even if white cuts through and captures the C stones, that's really not big enough compared to what black can still make at the bottom or even the center. Is that all right, Eric? Does that sound like a good summary?
Yeah. So actually, black isn't going to play this move right away.
Okay.
Because it gives white no choice but to settle in the upper right. But then black loses all of the strategic options that he has if he were to someday, for example, get a stone here through some other means, then white would be in danger at the top.
I see.
So first, black wants to play elsewhere, and as long as a white move to escape here isn't threatening black in any way, then black is in no hurry to play in that area himself.
Right. I see. That's cool. Looks like we do have 7 minutes on the main time for Andy Liu. We do still have the 5 full periods of Yoyomi for Mateusz, so it does look like he's going to be trying to play his moves all within 1 minute. And again, reserve that extra 4 minutes worth of Yoyomi as he needs to spend it. But yeah, this little tip here of really not wanting to actually perfect the center until it's the worst possible time for white, right? Like that idea of withholding this move, around any of these points that, will basically threaten to completely seal in that white group until the last possible minute. That is a strategy in Go that does take a lot of time and effort to really perfect. And I screw up all the time in my own games, right? Timing these direction of play shapes is so hard. Do you, like, when as a professional you're studying Go games, is that something you're really studying hard to perfect, or what are you thinking about when you study Go?
So yeah, timing is something that's very hard for everyone, professionals as well. So professionals have a tendency to hang on to moves too long, moves that are sente, guaranteed sente.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that leads to mistakes that maybe a somewhat weaker player wouldn't make because they're more willing to play these moves sooner.
Just to take every morsel of food they see when they see it.
Right, and in a way, it's very understandable, right? You're simplifying the game in a way that you can understand it better.
Mm-hmm. I see. White did play this interesting cutting move. Is White just trying to break out in Sente here? What is White's objective?
So, okay, first let's show. I'll show what Black shouldn't play.
Black shouldn't eat the 1 stone.
Right.
Okay.
So this will be the worst possible result for Black in this area.
But why, Eric? Black gets to eat a stone. How can that be terrible?
Well, White has already escaped towards the center in Sente. It's still White's turn. So he did it all for free.
I see. So what do you think Black's response should be? Just connect?
So if Black connects, then
will White clamp?
White could clamp or just leave this and play on the bottom.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
This seems really risky for White, given the aforementioned reasons and the Q19 move at the top, right? Being a possible way for Black to kill this whole White group. Seems risky. Seems very risky.
Right. So if Black were to play this now, then this isn't going to work yet for Black. Black isn't strong enough on the outside.
Okay.
So here, if Black were to save these 2 stones.
Right. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
This gets... Black looks almost dead, actually. The big group at the top is now just a giant snake with no eye space.
Right.
Okay, so Black's not going to do that yet. So what did Black do instead? How does Black respond to this white stone?
Okay, so Black is still thinking on this move at this point. Black might be considering. Well, no, not this move.
Can't play that move, right? Yeah.
This push would work.
I really only see O10 as being the only good option. Or Tanuki, right? Like it's either defend once there or go do something else for a while. Find a bigger fish. But I think O10 is worth it. But again, Andy is a much stronger Go player than I am, so maybe he has more moves to find, more things to think about.
Right. And also this move is it's a bit befuddling. It's not a move that you would think of immediately as White.
It does look like it's on a key shape point though.
Yeah. It's also one of Mateusz's strengths is playing on the key shape points. Very, very good at that.
See. Here, while they're thinking, let's talk about the American team a little bit because you, it should be mentioned, are actually a member of the American Team Championship. So, like, there's some money on this game on the line for you right now, right? Like, you're kind of cheering for Andy in the back of your head.
Kind of.
Do you not want a couple thousand euros, Eric? Are you?
No, I'm wholeheartedly hoping for Andy to win.
Okay, good. Well, I guess that's good. We're trying to be pretty reserved, as neutral-ish commentators. We're trying to be reserved about it. And again, everyone who's viewing the game today, we do ask, please consider joining the AGA or the EGF membership. Both of these organizations are great, sponsor a lot of Go content, including this tournament. We really do hope that this tournament sponsors a new generation of players to the game, especially when it's so easy, maybe not easy is the right word, but so accessible with all these AI algorithms helping people train. And one of the things that I still find most fascinating is that these AIs, all these robots and training programs, still disagree a lot about what the best move to play is. And I have some other friends who are doing some, high level programming with these sorts of things and responsible for some of these bots. And when these bots play each other, wow, they disagree wildly about what the best move is on the board in some of these cases. So man, Go is still this virgin territory waiting to be explored, even at the superhuman strength level, which is really amazing and really fascinating. So anyway, as part of this Go team that you're on, how is it decided that Andy went first? And do you have any insight into how the EGF team decided on Mateusz?
Okay, so basically, us as a team, we sat down and had a very serious discussion. And that was about our order primarily. And there wasn't any strong opinions on who should play first or but then we thought about using a strategy where we would. Okay, so I don't. It's a little hard for me to answer this question because I don't want to reveal too much.
Okay. These are top secret, high level strategy discussions that you don't want to reveal to the European team.
Yeah.
Is that my assumption I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. So I'll just say that Andy was the perfect choice to play first.
Oh man, you're not going to tell us what that means?
Yeah, he's our vanguard.
He's your vanguard. Is that because he's a movie star and you expect these Europeans to be starstruck?
Yeah, partly. And you asked about the thinking behind sending Mateusz first.
Yeah.
And so actually we were guessing for a while about who they might send out first.
Uh-huh.
But after they announced that it was Mateusz, it made perfect sense because he is, as I said, he is such a disciplined player, and yeah, basically everyone on the European team, they're in my eyes, they're all roughly the same strength. So it wouldn't surprise me whoever came out first. So,
okay. Yeah. But they also have different styles. So do you think that was a consideration?
Probably not.
Okay.
Because they don't know. I mean, they didn't know who we were going to send out first. So.
Right. I suppose if there's any EGF members or EGF people from the team who are here in chat today and they want to divulge some super secret information to us in the chat, that'd be most welcome. Yeah.
Be great.
I would love to broker a deal where they tell us a little bit more about their team picking strategy, and then I barter that with you to get you to reveal some more of the Americans' picking strategy.
All right.
All right. So here we have to talk about this move though, because this L11 move scares me. I don't like it. I'm really scared. Eric, you have to hold me here.
Okay. So back to the game. Before Black connected, Black pushed first. So pushing first makes White's 3 stones heavier.
Right.
So basically, this. So the thinking behind this is if in some case White decided he didn't want 2 stones anymore, for example, playing here.
I see. You can just give those to Black later on if Black pushed later.
Right. So it's a question of timing.
Yeah, it's another great timing position, right?
Yeah.
Black is asking White, hey, do you really want this? Making your opponent commit to something he may or may not want. Okay, but so here, M13, right? White is starting to lean on that top group, right? And we did show briefly before some of the shape defects that actually exist in this position. Black didn't fix the shape there, right? He actually, Andy helped the bottom, or really the center of the board, I guess, but that group approaching that weak group for White on the bottom. Do you think White or Andy doesn't think there's a problem there with shape? Like, what is Andy's thinking when he
So
plays 97?
Black's shape on the top is actually pretty strong.
Oh, but there's that L14 sort of defect, right? If white comes out again.
True.
Like if after white plays, let's put some other moves. This is the game. If white were to get this point and black were to block, there is this problem, right? If black blocks here, there's a snapback white can use to capture these stones. So there is this shape defect that I'm looking at, and feeling.
True. But in terms of points, it's pretty small, so black isn't worried about that.
I see. Okay. So in the game, what does white do next?
So in the game, white comes back here.
Wow.
So now we can see how good Q9 works. This exchange. So if black had not made this exchange, white is not going to play here, and the reason is, so let's say white plays somewhere else like this. So now because black has made that exchange, the move here would be Sente.
Right, and threaten to capture the 3 stones.
So after white defends, then this move would work for black.
Yeah, and that's scary.
But white still may be able to handle this by living on the bottom. There's a lot of space.
Oh, I see. Can you show us that capture, Eric? The 3 stones that we just mentioned, if white doesn't respond?
Okay, so if white plays here, then
keep going. White runs.
okay. Oh, right.
Yeah, you can see that black gets to surround first. And so here, if I go back a little bit, I want to look at this from a little bit more strategic point of view. After white, well, here, let's go back to this point. It looks like, to me, white is really banking on the fact that this triangle group, let's give it a letter, this A group is going to be able to threaten or find shape defects in this B group or counterattack the C group at some time along the way, such that white isn't going to worry about that Q19 death move at D. Is that a fair summary? Like, do you think Mateusz is gambling here with 06, that all those statements are true?
So basically, white is trying to make the eventual move that he plays to make life, if he has to,
Right. Yeah.
as painless as possible. So by making exchanges on the outside, making black a little weaker, it gives him more options in the case where he has to scramble to make life.
I see. Well, to me, just looking at the shapes on the board, it doesn't look like there's any way for white to really, break through at the current point. Like all these options are just barely working well enough for white. It does feel like as soon as black gets one more stone in the center, anywhere here, I don't know, anything around here, that white making life is inevitable, right? For white, white is always going to have to come back and make it. Do you agree, or do you think white will actually be able to break through and get out, or is it just open negotiation? They're just negotiating until something happens.
It's hard to say. I mean, it's probably a question of just how likely. But yeah, it's probably more likely that white will have to make a life at some point.
Okay. All right. So white played this 06 move. How did black respond? Let's see.
Black protected the bottom. Yeah.
Wow. Do you agree with this idea right now? Is this good timing?
Yeah, it's definitely the most normal move.
Okay.
So again, I like to play this. I like to get this move in at some point.
Right. Just make white scramble a little bit there, build the outside a little bit, and then.
Right, and if nothing else, just to see how white responds.
Right.
If white plays here, then there's a potential for an attack. Maybe not right away, but now white's stones aren't alive.
I see. Yeah, like it's very scary for white. And it should be pointed out that now that white has taken over this area on the board, white is actually in the lead as far as points. Mateusz has, in terms of territory, in terms of points, the cash in hand, Europe is in the lead in this game. That's right?
Well, black also gained something in the past 20 moves or so.
Oh, where did black gain points?
In the L10 area. Well, it's not solid territory, but it's good thickness.
I definitely agree with you that black gained, but it's not cash yet.
Right.
That's the way white's points are. And even though that black group looks strong right now, it does look like it could theoretically come under attack in the future. So I'm not willing to commit those to black points. It's definitely black gained strength there. It looks like L4 definitely starts thinking about points, though. Is this not a move you make when you want to seal the deal in terms of points? Like, what type of move is L4?
Yeah, it's a move that's trying to make points on the bottom.
And I would say in the center too, right? What would be a good follow-up move to help the center become territory?
Just any move towards the center.
Just any move. Okay.
Yeah, just like a jump like this.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I should mention that we do have actually a big change in terms of the player's thinking time. Mateusz is down to his last 3 Byoyomis. Andy has actually spent a lot of time, and he's down to his last Byoyomi. So if Andy ever plays a move that takes him longer than a minute, Andy loses the game. Like, the game is over, and Europe will win the first round. I wasn't actually watching the live stream too closely to know which move Andy was thinking about the longest, but it seems like he's really taking his time. He had a 10-minute advantage on the clock not too long ago. What do you think he's doing? What is he spending all this time doing?
Well, so we have 5. I mean, the players have 5 periods of 1 minute, and they can spend that time however they like. So one strategy is to spend 4 of your periods on a very important move, and it kind of sets you up in the zone where you play all of your moves within 1 minute. And actually, a minute is a fair amount of time actually for pros and strong players.
I see. But white is now, remember that cut we identified probably close to an hour ago, right? It's been sitting there for a long time. White is finally taking advantage of it.
Yeah, and white has to do something, because white is still behind at this point.
Yeah, even with that cash, it's still that black has too much potential on the board. Is that fair to say?
Right.
Even with that cash gains, if white does nothing, the potential will just turn into a bigger black territory than the cash that white already has.
Exactly.
Okay. So you should have control. You can step us through the sequence here. What happens?
So this was the sequence that we expected from the very beginning. And to be optimistic, I like to say that black is looking pretty good at this point. This sequence here is it's solidifying points.
Right, and up to the 5th line, right? The bottom 4 lines on this board will convert into black territory. 5th line territory and go is huge. Right, we're accustomed to seeing 3rd and 4th line territory be sort of the gold standard amount of territory. If you don't understand my terminology, this is what I mean when I'm counting 4 lines of territory up until that A stone. Right, each stone black plays on that 5th line gives them 4 points. That's a pretty big multiplier. Oh, so white doesn't keep pushing in this case. White turns. Is that your variation? That's the game variation, right? Yes. This variation we didn't read out before, right? You were looking at white continuing to push.
Yeah, so in the game, white still wants to leave a little bit of potential on the bottom. So if white were to push here, then black would become really solid. Or if
I see.
If this were to happen, then let's say black plays something, then the bottom is really there's nothing further that white can do.
Yeah, that's a huge number of points. How many points would that bottom be worth now?
30 something. Yeah.
Yeah, and before to remind the viewers, early on this game, before the bottom was developed, we only counted 40 points per player total on this board, right? Each player was sitting about 40 points. But if that bottom becomes 30 points on its own, it's not hard for black to just find find enough points elsewhere to have a really solid lead. Now, I do want to point out that in this variation that happened in the game, when white turns here at the G7 point, and black gets this little bit of fifth line territory, white also gained, right? So actually white found a way to make some more points here as well, because these 3 stones are all but captured. And that's about a 10-point capture. Even though it's only 3 stones, each stone counts as a point, and then each space underneath the stone also counts as a point. Each free space around the stone is also a point. So that's almost a 10-point capture by itself. So both players would gain in this case. Both players would end up with higher scores. But I think black would end up with black would have gained more than white if that bottom does manifest its territory.
Right. So in the game, black did play this move.
Oh yeah, look at that. Yep, you called that one.
So another forcing move.
And this stone makes sure that the center can't come under attack and threatens to make almost 15 points there, just in the center, in addition to the bottom. Is that right? Is that what you would see?
Yeah, so this move is multi-purpose. It expands black's potential in the center, and also if white were to play elsewhere, black would play Atari here, and this would be very painful.
I see. Yeah, black could just seal all that in, force white to go back and capture all these stones, and get a couple extra free moves on the outside. Very nice. And black could then make more than 15 points in the center if that exchange were to happen, right? Because if I'm looking at the board here, I'm looking at all this as potential territory for black. There's 9, and if black gets all those free exchanges, black can essentially double that without too much hassle.
Yes. So about this move, if black were to play elsewhere and say, if white were to invade now, then there's a chance that black would have to give up these points on the bottom.
Oh no. And white would make more territory there. White would take that formerly 15-point corner, and between the, we'll say 10-point gain right above it, would gain another 5 to 10 on the bottom too. It would turn that 15-point corner into like 30 points.
Right. So by making this exchange first, now this move doesn't work that well. So at the very least, black can now push here. And if white has to connect, then white doesn't gain as much as he did in the previous variation. But
that's actually still a gain for white, though. Yeah, this does work for white.
Would be This move would be counterattacked by black.
Oh, I
Black
see.
plays here. Well, let's take a look. So this is interesting because
This is a really dangerous quasi kamikaze kind of variation. I just want to point out to the viewers how dangerous this variation would be for both players. If we look at this white group on the inside that we're playing with, this group has no friends. This group is really lonely. There's no friends that white can reach out to. In order for this group to live, he has to find a weakness in black and either capture or bust out of something. And yes, there are some weak points in black. For instance, there's a possible connection over here. There's some Aji over here around these 3 stones. Technically, there's a cut up here as well. But man, that would be exciting.
right.
It's just like a fugitive on the run kind of situation.
So if this were to happen,
And this is another version of the kamikaze variation.
yeah, this could be dangerous for black.
Ugh. Oh,
So in
Yep.
this variation,
here you go.
yeah, there would be an exchange.
Wow. So black would capture the kamikaze group, but then lose the 3 stones. That's how white would bust through, would capture those.
Right. So not necessarily a horrible result for black. Black actually did gain quite a bit in the center. So maybe it's about even.
Wow. Okay. Because I would assume that would be a major success for white, right? Like right now, white doesn't look like he has anything going into that bottom. It just looks like it's going to turn into 30 points of black without any problem. Being able to capture 3 more stones of black and reduce it down to the second line, that feels like a major success.
Yeah. Now that I look at it again, it should be a success for white.
Yeah.
So in the game, I plays here.
Oh, this Aji.
This might be for time.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And so we call this a time suji.
Yeah, so when you're running low on time, you make a move that's forcing.
Oh, but he continues. Another time suji, you think?
Yeah.
Wow, how big is B2? Like, is that really the move to play? Like, why is black playing B2? That's the game. That is the game.
Well, he's not going to play there again.
I see.
So now we see a move where black is forcing white to make life at the top.
Okay, but all right. So, but let's go back here for a second to the B2 stone. Was this a time? This seems like a bad exchange for black. Do you think this is time suji too? Like, is this like a normal exchange? Because now white can capture at C2, and black basically gave up a free point. No.
Well, white could have played at C2 even if black didn't play B2 first.
Okay.
So
it's not that big.
Yeah, it's roughly the same.
Okay. All right. So the J13, we know we've been looking at it in the game before. But we know J13 threatens the life of that whole white group because of the Q19 bomb. But what else is black using that stone for? Right? We were talking about how black should try to master the timing of when to play another stone around there to threaten white. But is that stone worth a lot of points now for black? I don't fully understand the Q13 stone.
So black playing J13 to me signals that he's declaring victory.
Ah, okay. So it has a metagame meaning that, look, everything is safe. I have enough points. You can't win. just submit? Is that your read on the situation?
I would think so, but I'd have to count the game again to make sure.
Mm. See, I would think another move to play, like playing a move around the bottom, or maybe I only mark up some points. Some possible. Let me know what you think of these moves, right? So I'm looking at a move like at A. B is still good, or even C, like one of these three moves in this area to turn the center or bottom into points. I still like D as the move that you found earlier. By my eye, I still, I'm a little bit tempted to, play moves. If B2 is big enough to play, we do have these corners that need to be decided as well. So, yeah.
So I just counted the game again, and it's actually extremely close.
Really? So
white gained more than I thought with the F6 maneuver.
Oh.
I still don't understand why black doesn't play F16. It should be a good exchange.
It should be a good exchange, but maybe black is thinking that he actually wants to play B18 first, because that's actually worth a lot more points, right? If F16 doesn't actually threaten the white group, but let me put it this way: I can understand how F16 threatens the white group, but F16 doesn't feel that useful for his own points, for his own total score, right? So it feels like a one-dimensional move, whereas something like B18 is both threatening the white group and making points for yourself in that corner. Is that at all logic that follows, or am I just way off here?
Well, that's one way to think about it, but my feeling is that black is only thinking about points and not really about pressuring white.
Mm.
So they're both in their last periods of Yoyomi.
Mm.
So I really want to play F16 now.
Yeah.
Because now there is a potential of a cut here.
Cut here, yeah.
So if white had to defend like this, then this exchange looks okay for black.
Yeah.
This exchange here.
Oh, but then what would black play after the white Hane at C12? Play that out?
Black could just cut.
Let's see.
There is a
Yeah, can white get some compensation on the outside for giving up 2 more stones?
right. So black would have to defend here. If he doesn't, then
yeah.
wait.
Oh, that doesn't work.
Because of this.
Yeah, this doesn't work for white. It looks really cool though. It looks like it almost works.
Yeah.
Oh, is there no, there's no throw-in for white at D10, right? Throw-in for white at D10. Is that a Tetsuji here?
D10.
Yeah, if you throw in.
Oh, here.
Yeah.
Well, black would just give up the one stone.
Oh, okay, just give up the stone. Got it. Okay.
Not a big deal.
All right.
Okay. So another time move. Wow. So white's
going in.
yeah.
So
This
yeah.
is the game right here, I think.
Yeah, we can. Yes, that is the current game. So Andy now has to decide, right, if he's going to go all in and with like the N4 move. Let me put these up. Or if he's going to be more defensive and just let white reduce with the B move. Is that the choice he's making? Or is there any other choice?
Yeah, it's pretty much just those two moves. I mean, this is good stuff, man.
Yeah, look at that. Look how simple Go is. There's only 2 moves on this board. Amazing. What?
He's buying time. It's
Okay. He's buying time to decide between A or B.
yeah, I'm sure Black I'm sure Andy had seen this. He had thought about this move, but now that it's actually played, he's still reading through it. So.
I mean, I'm expecting him to play N4, right? Like I have to imagine that, you know, that has to be the correct move in this case, right? Black has too many stones in this neighborhood to just submit to white. What do you think?
Well, it's the move that we want to see.
It's certainly the move that is throws the game into chaos and confusion and makes the winner very unknown. Although I would argue that actually, if Black just submits it at M4, I don't have it fully counted, but it seems like that would be enough for white to even take the lead. Assuming that the top left group is safe, of course. I guess that's a big if.
So if I could have control.
Oh, sorry. Here.
Let's see what might happen if Black plays here. So Black has to Hane make an exchange first to prevent white from connecting, and then come back.
This is scary. The Kamikaze group is looking pretty strong right now. Does it have the 2 ice?
Yeah, so Black would be forced.
Black could make an exchange at L. No, he can't even make that exchange. Never mind. Yeah, looks. Yep. Yeah,
this is really risky.
I'm starting to see this as potentially working for white. I might have to change my previous comment. All right, I now understand why Andy was taking additional time sujis about this. This is frightening.
Right. So.
Oh, and in the game, Andy did. Yes, yeah, Andy did play the.
Oh, he did.
The N4 move, yes. But yeah. This is all out, guys. This is for the game.
Yeah, at this point, I'm expecting every move to come out at around 57 to 59.
Right. Oh yeah. This can't just be on instinct. The players are having to read this out as far as they can to its completion every single move, because if white dies, the game is over. And if white lives and Black doesn't get any other compensation other than just to connect the stones, the game is also over. Like, I don't think we've had a moment in this game to this point where the contrast was so stark, right? Like there can very easily be a winner and a loser before we reach the natural end of this game because of the sequence. Are you reading, Eric? What are you looking at here?
I'm worried.
You're worried. Yeah. You're worried for your 10,000 euros. They're evaporating before you. Team Europe is finding a way inside of that giant black area.
So I don't think that Black will actually try and kill.
Oh, really? Well, if Black didn't want to try and kill,
yeah.
you know, Why didn't black play the other way?
Well, the question is if letting white live small would be enough to win. And just
Right. And I have to think it's not enough. Look, there's a huge territory in the corner for white. That the 3 stones that got captured on the left now are quite big. Like, white actually has 2 large groups worth of territory.
right.
And black would really only have 1 large, well, maybe 1.5 large. It's actually, black has 2 large ones too, but white benefits from that Comey, that extra free points at the start of the game. Here, let's actually look at the game sequence because let's just get you back on track because I think you just missed a move. Otherwise, you've been playing the exact type of things they're likely to play. You're still trying to see if
Yeah. So it's an interesting life and death problem.
Yeah, I'll say.
So these 2 moves are pretty much guaranteed. And then white's next move. This is most likely.
Do you think white can try anything first at like around G5, or sorry, J5 instead of K4?
So here.
Yeah, is this useful?
So black might just give up the 3 stones if he has to. I mean, for example, like this.
I see.
If this were to happen.
Okay, black would be satisfied enough here.
Right.
In this case. But we did, when we looked at this similar variation earlier, like I felt like we both thought it was a success for white. But maybe not now, actually, after black has gotten all those exchanges, and especially the move at N6.
Yeah,
that N6 move
was very different.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think white is going to play a move that's closer to his group.
Here's my deal. I'm going to go back in the game just for a second, take you back here, because Andy played another time Suji over here in the bottom corner. And other than that, it's basically been the predicted sequence. Here, you can have control back and move us forward. So again, we had the exact same series of moves predicted minus that one B4 or B4 move. So yeah, possible moves for white right now. If white wants to, oh, we have a stone. All right, neither of our moves, right? I was thinking a J5 negotiation. You were thinking a K4 all out kind of stone. But we got neither. We got something splitting the difference here at J4. And now black takes the Satari. Is this well timed? Or does it miss the point?
Well, let's see.
Yeah. Also, I just saw a comment here. We got a comment from the KGS saying this is getting to be really exciting. There's this is getting really exciting. We're losing our Twitch viewership. We're not being excited enough, Eric, for given how dangerous the situation is.
Yeah, so white could just live right now by playing here. You have the one stone. So let's say white connects, then a move here will be forcing.
Right, and go forward. You can see the G8.
Right, and then
there you go.
Well, even like this, it's hard to kill white.
Really?
Here, maybe.
Mm.
So there's at least a potential ko.
Yeah, there's your ko down there for 2 eyes.
Of course, all that might not happen if White just gives it up, and he does. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, and so here, well, while you're thinking about that move, let me do some business things. We're actually scheduled to take a break right now, but I think we're going to skip it just because this sequence is so dangerous, so like game determining how this turns out. Again, if you're just tuning in, you're watching the 2019 Transatlantic Professional Go Team Championship. This is the round 1 game of 5-on-5 team tournament. We have 10,000 euros on the line between the North American pros and the European pros. If you're interested in supporting this content, please go to transatlanticgo.org/support. There should be some links in the chat. Hopefully the mods are getting those up. Otherwise, you can support, especially during this really crazy time. You can please post us on social media, #TransatlanticGo, or if you like, #TeamEGF or #TeamAGA. Alternatively, you can also become a member of the AGA or the EGF member associations. Those are great ways to support Go in your community. We are watching Andy Liu play Mateusz Surma in this round 1 game. And man, do we not know what's going to happen right now. We are waiting. Actually, I guess maybe we just got some clarity in the last move. Eric, catch us up. What just happened?
So White lived more or less. Yeah, White is definitely alive now.
Okay, what did Black get for his efforts?
Capturing 1 stone here.
So you're telling me that White made a huge group inside of the 30 points worth of Black territory, and Black just gets 1 stone of compensation for it?
Well, not just 1 stone, because White had 10 points at least in this area.
Mm.
Right, and also Black has potential endgame at Q1 next. This becomes endgame for Black.
Mm. So total point loss, maybe White lost, would you say 15 points?
Right, but you can't discuss the loss when there's also a gain. You have to.
Right. No. I was gonna do those piece by piece, right? So we're looking at maybe a 15-point loss for White, and how many points did Black lose?
That's tough. Yeah.
Well, should we start? Did Black lose anything other than potential? Like, did Black lose anything of concern?
Black lost quite a bit. But
Okay.
Black also gained some back. Overall, it might still be pretty balanced.
Okay, that is the game move, and there's our White response. So White's pushing up into that center. Is that guaranteed life now? It looks like to me. Actually, is it really guaranteed life?
Yes. So the best Black can do in terms of reducing White's eye space is to play like this.
Okay.
So White doesn't actually need this move to live, but it's just a valuable move in itself.
Right. Well, we're looking at 10 to 15 points of Black territory in the center area, and if White can play 1 more stone, this is basically absolute Sente against the B stick here. So White can ruin it really easily. So it certainly feels like a Sente push.
Yes. I'm expecting an answer. Oh.
It looks like they're resuming fighting on the left, though. Andy is after bigger fish. What's going on here?
Right, so Black can't stand being forced like this.
Oh man, but it's so big.
Is it really big though? Like, actually,
I mean,
if we count in the end game, is really small.
Wow, it goes down to like 6 points.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, so it's small.
Right. So black is going after these 4 stones now, which is bigger than what black might have made in the center.
I see. But white doesn't have to give those up yet, right? It looks like white has some fighting spirit, or will find a gain somewhere to sacrifice them for.
Yeah, white is going to sacrifice them.
Okay.
So this move is aiming at the weakness here.
In this co shape.
Right.
Mm.
So black would be connecting here at some point during the co-fight.
Mm. Well, is this even really? Yeah, is this really a? It's not really a co, right? Because black can stay connected and push through. It looks like.
Right. Black can stay connected, but
It loses the 2 stones up there. Yeah, white gains a lot.
Of course, I'm still waiting for someone to play this move.
Right. We'll see. Well, we will see whoever comes out of this with more strength, right? With
Okay, so yeah,
running.
black does play away.
Yeah. That's a big move. That's a because not only does it keep the white stones essentially, we'll say, dead for now. If black were to capture that 1 white stone here, your favorite group, Eric, the one that no one wants to play, doesn't have any friends in the neighborhood anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, they're doing it, right? Oh, man. Here, let's give you back control. All right. They're starting this sort of pseudo co thing. Again, it's really only a co for black's shape, right? I think black won't die. Black is in no danger here, but if he acquiesces, man, white feels really good because black will get 0 points, have bad shape, and still be able to become under attack. So even though black there isn't a real danger for this co, it's worth a lot. Like, well, maybe after this move now, oh man, Mateusz is applying lots of pressure here.
So actually, the way we can look at this co is that it's one that white is destined to win. It's just a question of when black eventually backs down.
I see.
And it might be just after the first threat.
Yeah, look at that. Yep, black gives up.
This is me playing.
This is you playing.
Not
Okay.
actually.
All right. I was like, yes, look how smart we are. We knew this was all going to happen.
So we can expect this result to happen.
And does white cut now at K13, or is there a bigger move?
White will probably come back here.
Okay. You've been saying that all game, though.
I'm hoping, anyways.
I think they're going to go another 20 moves before they play that.
Yeah, it's a conspiracy.
Yeah. Is that the game move?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, and it does. Oh man, so we have more danger. This game did not simplify with white living on the bottom. The fight just sort of spilled out more into these other smaller fights. We had the one really big fight along the bottom of the screen where white quote unquote won, but at the expense of losing his capture on the left and black getting some strength there. But now we have these more skirmish fights that are all in the background of Holy Market. There's this giant dragon here, right? This A dragon isn't 100% connected to anything.
So in a way, the big fight at the bottom that we thought would decide the game, they kind of made a compromise.
Right. Well, right now it feels like Europe has the momentum. Like there's still the question of that top left group, but all like overall, this seems to be benefiting the Europe team.
Especially since white was behind from
Oh yeah.
Usually the player who's chasing has the momentum.
Mm. But yeah, if Black secures all the groups over here, it's really going to come down to that top left group and who gets to play there first and whether or not the group is cut off. Do you think he has a co-threat here? Oh, he does.
Well, I wasn't sure I saw this coming.
Oh, okay.
So they're both under time pressure, which means that they can't read everything out completely. So it's a matter of trusting their intuition and their experience.
Yeah, and I'm going to ask you as a professional, do you ever reread sequences, or once you read something, do you trust your intuition to not read it again, or trust your reading to say, look, I've already read that, I can't waste any more time here, you have to go read something else?
So for me, it actually depends.
Okay.
So
if
for
there's
example,
10,000 euros on the line, Eric, what do you do?
It might depend on my form, actually. So if I'm in good form, then I tend to trust my first readings more.
Okay.
If I'm not feeling so great about my game, then I might spend more time verifying.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So right here, is Black gonna cut at L8? Is that the plan?
Okay, so let's see what might happen. He cuts. There's a potential co about to happen.
But does White have enough liberties to fight this co? Oh, I guess he does. Okay.
Yeah, it's a co. It's a co for Black's big group.
And the central 9 white stones as well, right?
Right. But Black doesn't want this to happen.
Well, if Black was behind and had co-threats, I mean...
Right, unless Black has the threats, then...
Right. Yeah, this would be a co for essentially, let's see, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. You're fighting a 50-point... You're trying to save your own 50-point group and capture 9 of your opponent's stones, so this is like a 70-point co or something like that, right?
Yeah, so...
Well, that would be exciting. You guys want, we want to have better ratings for this tournament. Can someone just phone up Andy and tell him to start a 70-point co here at this point in the game? We can all agree to that, right? I think we can.
So it looks like it's about to go down.
You think, is this co inevitable at this point?
Yeah.
Oh man.
It's game deciding fight round 2.
Oh man. All right. Well, let's start working on some threats. Tell me the threat count. Who's got threats for a 70-point co?
All right. So let's see. So White's threats are mostly local.
Local threats are good threats.
There's one right here.
Okay.
Black's got... It's...
Does Black have enough liberties to recapture the bottom group? Probably not, right?
Yeah. So playing here.
I just want to make sure Black has enough liberties to actually do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Black has 7 liberties on the outside.
Yeah, black's got enough. So black would play here, capture this one, and then just win with winning
Okay.
the reeds.
3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Actually, it looks like a one or two step capturing race or something. Still should be black's advantage, but
Yeah.
there's still a tiny bit of mischief for white. Okay. Here, can you bring it back to the game? Let's.
So the game is like we expected.
Okay. So yeah, these two players just decided to have a 70-point co-fight just for fun at move 192. For the new people who are hanging with us from Twitch chat, a co-fight happens when both players essentially want to capture the same stone that's on the board. Or rather, when one player captures a stone, the other player could immediately recapture it. And that's what's going on here right at this space. Black can recapture, but when black recaptures, white can just immediately capture back. And in Go, there's something called the rule of Ko that says, essentially, there's no takebacks, right? You just can't capture it right back. You can't make the board look the exact same way twice in a row. So what we do during a co-fight is we capture once, and if our opponent wants to capture back, instead of capturing directly, the opponent will change the board in some way. We'll go play somewhere else, hopefully eliciting a response from us. And if that happens, then that player can go back and recapture that co-shape. It's very confusing. Traditionally, robots and AI has had a really hard time dealing with this type of situation. It's actually a really hard thing to understand, never mind program for. And often, they're the most exciting parts of Go games. So there you go, Andy. Oh, not Andy, Eric. What is Andy doing here? Is he starting this? Oh, this is his local threat. Does he have any other local threats?
Well, the Ko hasn't started yet.
Okay, so why didn't he take the Ko? Oh, this is you? Is this you? This is not the game? Oh, this
No,
is the
this
game.
is the game.
This is the game.
So
I see.
he's
The Ko hasn't
thinking
started
that,
because he hasn't
so
played
he's
that.
thinking that taking this stone to reduce white's eye space might make it easier to find threats, to use threats on this group.
Okay. I see. Because this wouldn't be a threat directly? Is that the reasoning?
Potentially, yes.
Mm.
So it's preparing the threat before starting the actual Ko.
All right. And the Ko has been started in the official game.
Right, so white went for the fancy looking threat before the easy one here.
Mm. Was there a reason for this, or just?
Not really.
Okay. Here, let's label some things. Should we label things? So this group, A group, is going to die if white wins the Ko. If black wins the Ko, this B group is going to die. If black wins the Ko, the C group will live. And if white wins the Ko, the C group will die. And as you can see, this C group is huge. It's hard to imagine there's a threat on the board that isn't a local threat and is worth the life of the C group. There you go.
All right, so we're going to expect white to answer this threat.
There it is. If white answers this threat, does that mean black has more threats against that group, or is that really the only good one?
Black has more threats.
Mm. Should we expect to see the J6 threat now? Is that the next?
Yeah.
Yep. There it is.
So this one. Well, it doesn't feel good for black.
It does not.
Because the threats,
Like,
threats
where
are
are
all
the
coming out
threats?
from this side.
I mean, there is like an escape valve threat at Q12, but if black plays that, white just wins the game, even though black gets to save his group.
So White's got a tremendous number of threats
Yeah.
in the around the G12 area. We'll see it pretty soon.
Yeah. This is starting to look like Mateusz swung this game around on this ko. And maybe this ko is inevitable after Black tried to run out that G9-ish group. Here, let's label some things. Like after Black tried to run this out and wouldn't compromise here, if you guys remember this point, this connection where I wanted Black to play and you made fun of me for only fighting over 6 points. After Black played on the left rather than, oh, he's shorting his own Liberty. Yeah, that was this defects in Black's shape started to add up. Like Black became very busy.
So this one's definitely White's going to answer it.
Okay. So if after Black makes that exchange, is he saying there's no more threats for him at the bottom? Because that shorts him a Liberty, right? Like, does that mean stuff like J2 is not going to be used as a threat?
Right. It does seem like Black is signaling that the ko will end very soon. So this threat is played. But where's the next one?
I don't know. I thought J2 might have been a threat earlier, but Black definitely needed all the liberties available to him to make it work.
Yeah, so this looks like a threat. So White only has one more. Wait, yeah, White doesn't have any threats at this point. Yeah.
The Atari at like G12 is not a threat, or any of those Ataris?
So Atari, then White has to find a threat after this one.
Oh, I see. Right, White.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's actually difficult to do now.
Oh wow.
Oh, they go back to the game. Something happened. Let's. White did not respond here.
Oh, okay. So White realizes he doesn't have enough threats.
Wow.
So he ignores it. So one way White could ignore is to play here.
Mm-hmm.
But White is only capturing stones in the center, and that's much smaller than what Black is getting on the right. So White kind of ups the ante by playing here. He's going for the group at the top, which is much bigger. These stones.
Can Black even think about taking this ko though? Like,
well, no. So
no?
that's why.
Oh right, okay,
Black
I see.
here.
Yeah, because White just captures. Got it. Okay, so Black captures, and White extends, huh? All right. Is the top Black group safe? Does White have a way to kill it?
It's definitely on life support.
Wow. We thought that top left-hand group for White was going to be the one that was going to be on life support.
Yeah, but we didn't foresee all these strange complications. So that's true.
This is true, but if Black lives, it does look like the game is over, right? Now in favor of Black, or not? Have we determined that? Or is it still too close? Do you have an idea of the count?
Let's see real quick. Yeah, if Black lives, Black is winning. So let's. So I'm thinking black might play here first.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what he did? Okay, yeah, he did do that.
Yeah. You just got to find two eyes here. Oh man, this co-fight.
I'm sensing a co. So,
oh, this way.
something like this one?
But doesn't white... Oh, okay. I was going to say, what if white pushes up at K16? Is that big enough?
You mean right now?
Yeah, just take that. Capture those 7 stones.
Well, black has to find something on the left side.
Mm.
It's pretty difficult, though.
This looks really bad for black. I'm very worried. But again, both players in Byoyomi, as we've seen, anything can happen. It does look like black has connected as the move.
Yes.
In response to this Atari. And that does threaten to start a ko immediately for 2 eyes, or black can take 1 eye. And it looks like Sente. Sente 1 eye or 2 eye ko. Oh, white took. Okay.
Okay.
So black will take the 1 eye and Sente.
Wait a minute. What's going on?
Wait a minute. White didn't want to get counterattacked? Does white think he's winning now?
No, I was confused by black's move, actually. Does black think he can live?
He apparently, because, well, again, he can take this eye and Sente. The second one looks fine, right? G17 lives for black. Does this move not live? How to kill? Go kill it, Eric.
White will play F18. Then.
Oh, I see. Okay.
It's another.
Play it out. Yep. Play it out. Still ko.
Ko is here.
Mm-hmm. Wow, and that's only because Andy played the time Suji at K19 earlier. Right, if Andy didn't do that, would that just be dead?
Right. It would be.
Time Suji coming back to give him something. Oh, wait, what if black, can black G18, or is that a false eye? That should work, right? Go to the game. Does G18 just make 2 eyes?
Well, no. We're just blocked.
Yeah, but now, oh yes, okay. Okay.
So if white
Yeah, same thing. Same thing, okay. All right, so this is not looking good for black. Black looks a little bit on life support.
Well, it's going to be ko.
Oh, well, okay. We have to fight ko again, though. I can't take this anymore. Eric, I'm not a good ko player.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of hoping for
this ko.
For this, whatever this is. I mean, someone's gonna die at this point. So.
Okay. Looks like they're playing a lot of moves really fast here as they start this ko. Oh wow. All right, the game. We have to go to the game immediately because this might have just ended.
Yeah. So this did happen, and then.
All right, and then Andy plays this as his threat. Is that a direct threat to kill? Is there any way for white to live and ignore that? It doesn't. I'm not convinced it kills outright. It looks like white has a lot of space.
Yeah, I think white's definitely going to ignore this one.
Wow. Is this Andy throwing his hands up in the air and just saying, well, screw it?
Well, he doesn't have anything better.
Hence the throwing of hands up in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
white
Yeah. So
next.
white
All right.
like that.
But this exchange has to be hugely beneficial to white. Like
It's
that
another
group.
ko, isn't it?
There's another. Wait, there's another ko? What? Don't tell me there's another ko, Eric. You're killing me. Where is there another ko?
Hmm.
Do you see it? Do you find the ko?
I mean, the ko would be here, but I'm not even sure white has to play there. This move is really big at this point.
Hmm. Wow. I think we are witnessing an upset, though.
So.
Yeah. There it is. Andy Liu has resigned. Team Europe has won the first round of the Transatlantic Team Go Championship. They're well on their way to that 10,000 euro prize. We'll try to see if we can get Mateusz on the line here and talk about the game. So stay tuned for that. And Eric and I will also go through the game a little bit more, and we'll see if we can identify some major turning points. Ah, man, how do you feel, Eric?
I'm exhausted.
Yeah, no, this was a game that just ramped up in intensity the whole way through, right? It didn't really let us go at any moment. I do want to remind you guys, please visit our support page, transatlanticgo.org/support. If you are in favor of more content like this, we do need your support. So this is how you do it. Please also join your respective member associations or both the EGA and the EGF member associations. With your membership, you also get access to tournament ratings and newsletters. And again, you help make this sort of content possible. Congratulations to Mateusz Surma, winner of the first round. He will stay on to play the next American up, who I'm supposedly being messaged right now.
Shortly.
Yeah, they're going to tell me who the next AGA representative is who will be playing Mateusz in round 2. That'll be next week. I believe same time, same day, Sunday, whatever your local time zone was for this game start. Will be pretty cool to follow and see what happens. It will be Calvin's son, one Dan American professional. And you know Calvin well, right, Eric?
Yes. That should be another exciting game. I'm hoping for the best.
Okay. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a very quick break while we try to get Mateusz on the line. And stay tuned. And man, we'll get his feelings about this co-fight that just devolved. And I also want to see if he felt like he was behind and if that motivated some of his moves going into the end, especially that invasion, at the bottom. So stay tuned. Stay with us. Special thanks to Michael Wanek, Lee Hajin, Stephen Hu, all the people who helped make this stream possible. All right, we'll be back.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the 2019 Transatlantic Go Team Championship. My name is Nick Sibicky. I'm joined here with Eric Louis. We've got the winner of the round one game, Mateusz Surma, here on the line. First of all, congratulations, Mateusz. I think we have him here. Mateusz, you there? Ah, yes, there. What a victory, too. Wow. Like, man, you just ramped up the intensity throughout this game. How are you feeling right now?
Strange. I had a feeling like I completely threw this game with one of these scores. I didn't see like he could take away my cost rate. Like I couldn't really play any cost rates in this middle group. Like I thought like I had to like try to capture all this top. And before this, I thought it should be like very good for me. And like, yeah, I was worried a lot later.
Yeah, it was amazing. Well, we got really worried when Andy finished that ko, or I guess you finished the ko, and let those 5 stones die on the right hand side. You still had to make something happen, and you totally did. You found a way to go after that top group. It was very exciting. This ko that you started, or that you and Andy started, did you think that would all happen? What did you think when the ko happened? Who was going to win the ko? Did you have an idea?
Which ko?
Well, let's say the first ko. The first
ko.
Yeah.
I thought, like, when I was trying to read this earlier, I thought I have, like, when I played one move to, like, jump and take liberty from his stone in the center, and later he played, like, to squeeze me. So later he could play Atari for the 3 stones.
Okay.
And
yeah, and also...
time, I didn't think he can play like this. I just thought I just escape. I didn't see he can block me.
Oh.
Like, you mean from F11? Right?
Yeah, Mateusz, you can if you're still in the game room, you can actually join us on our demo board, which is the copy of the game next door, and we can give you control and you can tell us all about what you thought. If you hop in, if it's in the same room.
KGS?
And KGS Transatlantic Pro Team Room, it's the other. There's only 2 games. There's your game, and then there's our demo board. There you go. Here, let me give you control, and you can walk us through some key moments here.
Here, I didn't see this move.
Yes, I also missed this one.
Like I thought it's game over. Before this, I just jump here and it's like finished, but I didn't see this one and later.
Wow.
By the way, how did you feel about the position before you invaded at N3?
N3, I thought I should be ahead.
Wow. Okay.
Just I thought like there should be easy life inside. I didn't think there would be problems with living.
I see. Well, I'm not sure if it was easy, but you were right that you lived inside.
And like after opening, I thought I was losing. Then somehow, after some moves, I thought, okay, it's actually not so bad. And at that time, I thought it should be okay, like when I invaded.
Okay. I'm going to rewind here a little bit and go back to the beginning and ask you about a few things. When Andy played a cross game, do you think that was a special strategy against you, or were you just expecting something like this from him?
I didn't expect. Generally, I don't really remember when I had game like these crosses with Komoku. I had plenty with Hoshi, but with Komoku not so much.
So did you feel like you were having to work extra hard here at the opening, or did you still play natural?
Difficult to say. I thought like, okay, let's play this what I think is better. But I don't really know any openings like with this one, this shape.
I see. Let's zoom forward a little bit here. To this point, you got a nice little settled position in the top left-hand corner, but it feels like you don't have a lot of potential on this board. Did you feel that way?
Like, he neither.
Okay.
Opponent was like, I thought center will be 0 at this time.
Okay. So it'll just be a low-scoring game. You're wanting to play a low-scoring game?
A little scoring or trying to make some fighting, but not for the center, but for some sides, like corners maybe.
Very good. We really liked your P14 move here, your AI-inspired move.
Thank you.
It seemed like it worked very well, but then you worked really hard to take advantage of this cut. We also really liked R12, but then the whole momentum kind of shifted to the top for a while, and so both Andy and you decided to spend time at the top, which to me felt a little bit awkward. Like this move right here. Do you think J17 was the right move for him to make right now? Were you happy when he played this, or how did this move make you feel?
I would play the same if I was black.
You would feel the same? You would do the same?
I would play the same move, this J17.
Okay. Cool. Okay. So you were sad when he played it then?
Like, I thought he would play there and later, like, need to do something on the top.
Okay. Eric had a good idea here, I think, which was to, instead of black play this right away, to turn first before making that extension at the top. Do you think, I mean, what do you think white does here?
I didn't think about this one, but...
Okay, that's okay.
Somehow I feel like I would need to play something on the top.
Okay, so you would Tanuki here?
Maybe, but
okay.
like this, hard to say.
Hard to say. Okay. Yeah, let's go to another point. So then after all these exchanges and we get this right-hand side confusion, you play this move to go right after the top.
Yes.
And did you get the result you wanted? Like what was going through your mind? What did you want to accomplish here?
Generally, I thought it would be like in the game. Like I wanted to prevent this cutting, like this one. And I was wondering, like, if I play simply like this, I thought it's bad. Just it's too slow.
I see.
Talking about this kind of moves, try to get it all in center, and later playing on the bottom side. Like something this or this, but I thought it would be not so good. Like after this, they can play, for example, this way, and later still there is cutting point. So I need to still come back and finish in gote. So I didn't really like this shape, and I thought, okay, I need to play something on the second line and try to attack this group, like making some base with these stones on the right.
Right. Yeah, this was a very interesting move for me. I'm not sure about you, Eric, but the timing and the point of K18 was kind of a big turning point, I felt like. And the whole direction of the game kind of changed. Here, let's go a little bit further. Oops, that's not the game. So after you get to settle this group, black plays this move.
I thought he would just take the stone.
You thought he would just take the stone?
The stone in the middle. K14. I thought black would
Let me give you control here. Let me give you back control. Show us what you meant.
I thought black wouldn't play here, just take the stone.
Okay, got it.
Just I thought it's like not small, and my group is also not strong, so it's not so easy for me to attack his group.
I see. I see.
Yeah, I think that would be better.
So missed opportunity by Andy here, and you took advantage of it well, right? Like you, even though it did seem like Andy still had a lot of momentum here. After this peep, your white group was never really safe.
Yes.
So this move I think is too slow.
Yeah, I thought same.
Like I should play on the bottom somewhere, maybe Q3.
Yeah, and so when you were able to essentially take a little bit of momentum here, you got to play the first move in the bottom, and this was the next turning point, right? You sort of were able to quasi settle that top group and then take this momentum. Did you feel like you were in the lead at this point? Like, is this when did you feel like you had overcome that opening of Andy's?
I thought at this point, like after this G16, I thought, okay, now I have like chance to get an advantage.
I see.
Like just trying to play something on the bottom. If it will be not so bad, it should be okay.
Yeah, well, it, it worked out. All right, so I'm going to fast forward through quite a bit of the sequence. So I do want to get to that Ko, this Ko and this invasion. It did feel like to us that if Black just covered at B, White would have enough points in the game. So were you expecting him to cover and just give up, or did you expect the big fight at A?
I thought he would still play B move, and
You thought he would play B too?
And like play maybe better endgame. I thought I'm slightly ahead, but not like very much.
I see. Well, for much of the game, he had more clock time than you did. Did you feel like he was pressuring you on time by moving a little bit faster than you expected, or
like
did you ever feel behind on the clock?
Yes.
Yeah. So in the end, he ended up using a lot of time here, and you guys ended up both in your last Byoyomi pretty quickly.
Yes.
So after this fight, can you make a prediction here? Like when during the game, like what were you thinking was going to happen?
Generally, this is what was. Like, I was thinking maybe Black could also play Hana on the first line, but I think I was just make life with this group. I think I should be winning anyway. But like after this, generally, I didn't see all variations because like no time and like hard to think with this pressure. And here also there is some place. I thought I should make life somehow because it's not so small.
Right.
But I wasn't like 100% sure I will make this live. Maybe will be some Ko or something like this. Anyway, with Ko, I think it should not be so bad because like I destroyed all this Black's Moyo.
Right.
So
right. This is all
like this. Maybe it would be not so bad.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it did go to Ko. It turned out, although probably not the one you thought.
Yes.
And yeah, do you have any tips for people or amateur players who are getting to this all-out Ko? Like how do you keep a steady hand? What's important to think about? How do you keep your eye focused on the complexities of Ko? Like how do you mentally deal with this?
Like I was just trying to find like big enough Ko threads for both.
I see.
And like about this top left corner, like I thought there will be some problems with making life with this group. But if I kill this other group, then anyway I feel like I should be winning.
Oh really? So you're prepared to give that up?
I thought he will maybe take this left top corner and I can take this right lower.
Wow. Yeah. And I think you would be winning after that. And in the game, of course, he must have agreed because he didn't even try to threaten it, right? Like there weren't any Ko threats against the group, so he must have agreed. So Mateusz, congratulations once again. You played very well. You hung in there, and it looked like early on, Black had a slight advantage, but you just chipped away and powered through it. And then, man, when this game went to chaos, we just felt like anyone could happen. It was very exciting to watch, and thank you for putting on the performance that you did.
Thank you.
Nice game.
Yes. All right. So, Eric, is there anything in the game that caught your eye that you think the people should see again? Anything you want to review? And
I just want to say that this was a really exciting game, and I'm glad we got to witness this. And
yeah. And next week will be a game between today's winner, Mateusz Surma, against Calvin Sun, who also certified AGA professional. He was actually certified right before you were, Eric, right? Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So sort of this generation of Go players. This is part of the Transatlantic Go Team Championship Tournament. This is the round one of this little 5-on-5 tournament where 10,000 euros are on the line. If you'd like to support this content, I can't stress this enough. Please go to transatlanticgo.org/support and make a donation, or sign up to become an AGA member or a member of one of the EGF associations. This content is certainly made possible with viewers like you, but also 3 very important people today actually running the show behind the scenes. Steven Xu98 Who was in charge of most of the visual content. Thank you, Steven. Lee Hajin did most of the legwork in terms of the actual arrangements and setting it up for the players. And Michael Wanek, also known as Babs, you maybe know Babs, shout out to Babs, did all the actual streaming and casting from his own machine. So he was the guy who actually moderated the chat and got the stream going and arranging everything and queuing me and Michael's actually in my other headset here saying there were lots of moderators, so he's being bashful, but since I can't name them all right now, he gets all the credit. So thanks for watching. We'll be back next week. Please come watch some more Transatlantic games. Oh man, that was an exciting game. I'm feeling like I need to take a break from Go for at least 5 minutes. Yeah, please support your EGF member association or the AGA for more great content like this. Thanks all.